Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of Burton Ballers. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about our goal scoring woes and what can be done to improve it. But before I get into this video, guys, you know the drill. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on all post notifications, and share this video because we want to let more and more people know that Burton Ballers are about.
Welcome to the Burton Ballers. Ain't got no time for no stallers, yeah.
We are the risers, we're not the fallers. Our channel is growing wider and taller.
Yeah, we're here to give you the news about your dear beloved Blues, yeah.
So if you like this YouTube channel, like, subscribe and turn on that bell.
Yeah.
So guys, another disappointing 0-0 draw against Leeds. This is the third 0-0 draw we've had under Tuchel this season, and we are just not putting teams to the sword. It was the same situation with Frank Lampard as well, where in the final third we're not clinical enough. So what's happening, guys? What can we do to address this problem? But let me take you through some alarming stats to start off with. So, Iheanacho, someone tweeted yesterday that Iheanacho, who's been a bit part player for Leicester City this season, but he has scored more goals this season than Callum Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Havertz and Ziyech combined. You know, that is startling. You know, this guy who's just started playing for Leicester just after they got the injuries to Maddison, etc., and he's already scored more than all of those combined. We've spent, apart from obviously Callum Hudson-Odoi came from the academy, but we spent big money on the likes of Havertz, Pulisic and Ziyech, and we expect more production from the money that we spent for them. And basically it's not good enough. You know, okay, it's their first season for two of them. Pulisic has had injury problems, so you know I'm not going to be overly critical because there are some circumstances behind it. But you know, and it's a confidence game, as we know. And when you're not scoring goals, you start snatching at things, etc., etc. But now that they've had a lot of the season to adjust, I'm going to be expecting more input from the attacking players that we have at our disposal. The other thing is, it's not just the attacking midfield. If we move to the strikers now, so between the three strikers that have played, Werner, Abraham and Giroud, between them they've got a combined total of 15 goals this season. So when you look at compare them to other players, that's two less than Mo Salah. That's one less than Harry Kane has scored on his own. That is just one more than Calvert-Lewin has scored for Everton. And more startlingly, because a lot of people say, okay, they haven't played that many games and they've been switching, and so you have to look at everything in its entirety. But if you take Gundogan, who hasn't been a permanent fixture in the Manchester City side, they've only scored 3 more than Gundogan. He scored 12 goals already. And the reason why these guys haven't scored consistently, because nobody is saying to Tuchel, this is my place. No one's taken ownership of that, the striker role, because whenever Werner's played, he hasn't been scoring on a regular basis. He started well at the beginning of the season, then the goals have dried up. So every time he plays, he's only scored 1 goal now in his last 14 or so Premier League games. Even Tammy Abraham, he'll score a few and then he'll come in and decide. And again, when we're looking for that goal, as a striker to make a difference, he's found wanting. Giroud, I've always said Giroud is a scorer of great goals, but not a great goal scorer. And you know that if he has one good game, like he did against Atletico, and we put him in the next game, he goes missing. Maybe it's the formation that doesn't suit him, I don't know. But I've never seen Giroud have back-to-back, probably once this season where he may have had back-to-back decent games, but he's not consistent enough. And even at Arsenal, he wasn't consistently scoring goals for them. I'm not saying he's a bad player. He's not. He's a decent player. But is he a player, if we play him all the time, who's going to be scoring 15, 20 plus goals for us? Probably not. So that's the issue as well. We're not, our strikers are not scoring goals. And if we go further down the pitch now, you expect some contribution from your pivot players. And the worrying thing is about our pivot. Take away penalties, because obviously Jorginho scored 6 penalties this season, but take away penalties. If we look at the goal contribution from Jorginho, Kante and Kovacic, no goals at all. And only 4 assists, 2 of them coming from Kante, 1 from Jorginho, 1 from Kovacic. So, we say the attacking players are not scoring, but they're not getting any assists from behind, from the pivot roles. The other issue that I see quite a lot is that we do not commit enough men into the box. When we played against Leeds on Saturday, one of the most startling things is if Pulisic was on the right getting the ball in, there's not enough people getting into the box. There was a situation where the ball missed Havertz and Mason Mount didn't go, his position was on the edge of the box rather than inside the box. If he had taken up a position inside the box, then he's got a tap in. Ben Chilwell from the other side needs to tuck inside. When the crosses are coming in, he should be tucking in. So he should be getting in at the far post as well. But he wasn't committing himself to that far post. The same with the other side. If Ben Chilwell's crossing the ball, we're not seeing men coming into the box. So if you don't get men into the box, you're not going to score goals. So we're not scoring from crosses. It's easy for defenders to defend. And even worse against Leeds is that Leeds have conceded the most goals through set pieces or crosses. So we didn't exploit the fact that Leeds are weak at crosses by committing enough people into the box. We're not scoring from far range neither. So we're not scoring from in the box, and we're not scoring from distance. Now and again we'll score one. Mason Mount has scored a couple from distance. Good goal against Liverpool the other day, but we're not doing that enough. It's quite ironic today. There were some stories coming out about Coutinho, how we had talks with Coutinho last season, and but it didn't materialise. But Coutinho actually is somebody who would be very well suited to this team at the moment. Why? Because this guy knows how to shoot from range. A lot of his goals for Liverpool, for Bayern and Barcelona have been scored from distance, and especially if we're playing against these stubborn defences, if we can get somebody who can score goals from range, then that would help our goal output as well. If you saw the Burnley guy, Dwight McNeil, the goal he scored against Everton the other day, I miss those sort of goals. The way he beat his man and curled it into the top corner. I'm envious of those goals, because we just don't see enough of those worldies at Chelsea. I was doing a phone-in a few weeks ago, and I said I'll be struggling to find 6 goals to go into a goal of the season compilation for Chelsea this season, because we haven't scored that many worldies this season. Take away penalties aside and set pieces. Our open play contribution this season has been lacking, So what can we do to improve it? As I said, we need to get more bodies into the box. That's the first thing. The second thing is we need greater output from the pivot. They need to start producing more in terms of goal contributions and assists. And they just need to go on the training ground and practice shooting from range, because I just don't know what it is with them, what it is with the shooting. It's just like weak shots all the time. So we need to, just spend an extra hour shooting from range. But most importantly, I think it's the decision making. The decision making in the final third is very poor. Mason Mount, I love him as a player, so I don't want to be too critical. But I'd like to, just because I like a player, it doesn't mean they're beyond criticism. And Mason Mount needs to improve on that score as well, because a few times this season I've seen where he's been in, other players have been in good positions, but he hasn't had that awareness to slide them in. You know, and even against Leeds the other day, we saw with Christensen and others where, you know, runners have been there, they've been making these runs, but there's nobody who's going to be having that vision to play them in, you know, and that's what. So there's a lot of things which are lacking. I'm not sure if it's formation as well, because I know with Tuchel, he likes them to be in the position where they can not be caught out in transition. So, you know, I think they may be worried about that as well. You know, if the play breaks down, they don't want to be found out of position. So is it something to do with that as well? I don't know, but you know, we definitely need to start scoring more goals, because, you know, we don't want to, as I said before, draws, you know, wins, you know, where we could have won a game, it's a draw, that's 2 points lost. This league is tight, really tight. So every point is valuable at this time, because we've got 5 teams vying for that top 4 place at the moment. So West Ham, we had some good results go up, you know, with some good results go our way yesterday, with the likes of West Ham losing and Everton losing on Saturday. But, you know, if West Ham win their game in hand, all of a sudden they're on level on points with us. So that's how tight it is. So, and as I said, because it's so tight, it's goal difference. It's going to be goal difference. So we need to improve that goal difference as well, because, you know, the last thing we want to be doing is missing out on Champions League by 1 goal because we didn't score enough goals and put teams to the sword. So what do you guys think? You know, what is the solution? Have you got a solution? Do you know what the problem is? What's making us miss and not score enough goals? So just stick it in the comments field, guys. I'll be happy to hear your thoughts and opinions on this subject. Okay, guys. Have a nice day, and don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on all post notifications so you'll be notified every time we make a new video. Until then, bye-bye.